Hey guys, it's the final 3. The smoke is not messing around. I'm very proud of all of you. No matter what happens here, you're all winners. And whoever wins is just a little bit more of a winner. But yeah, it's been a really cool game. It's been so fun to watch, and I'm excited to see what happens. So may the best survivor win. Come on in, guys. Come on in, guys. Molly, come on in. And introducing our jury for Survivor Predators versus Prey. Coming out of Ponderosa into the dark is Molly, Alex, Connor, Harry, Allie, Justin, Caroline, Cass, and Cass. Yeah, I'm gonna sit right here. I'm gonna sit right here. All right, well, welcome everybody. It's been a very, very fantastic couple of days. I just want to thank everybody up to this point on a great game played. And I'm very excited to see how this will shape up. How this final jury will work out is each of you will be asked 2 questions by me, and you will answer them. And then after that, each of the jury members will have their time to ask you guys to get a better idea about your gameplay, and maybe have any questions they have. You guys have any questions? Fantastic. Let's begin.
How many questions can we ask?
It's whatever you guys want.
Okay.
So, I just want to start off with a very simple question. Why should you win Survivor Predators versus Prey?
I'll go first. So, I think I'm gonna take you through my, story. I came here, I knew pretty much no one except for Carson. I knew Caroline and I knew Cass. Whoa! It's okay. Well, just before the tribes swapped, I was like, okay, if I just keep following these people, I'm going to be a shadow of this challenge beast and, in the shadow of this game player, outwitter. So I decided, no more. I don't want to be a shadow. I want to win. So I voted Caroline out the first time. She looked at me at Tribal and said, you're going to regret this. I didn't. I don't regret it. I voted out Harry with an idol in his pocket. He had no idea it was coming. My closest allies, later in the game, like Cassie, I voted her out after telling her to her face tonight that I was with her. And I was with her until I wasn't, and I made that call. I don't think anyone sees me as a challenge beast, but I make it work when I need to. Furthermore, I needed it tonight because I've never built a fire before. Well, until actually just now. Zach threw it in the fire because he didn't want you to see. But I had just built a full fire that had put the flag up. You were here.
Oh yeah, no, it was great.
It did happen.
I didn't see the flag go up, but I just hear about it from a trustworthy source.
I have done more than these people. I think I've been on people's minds more in this game. I've been on the bottom several times. I changed my game when I was on the bottom. I played very go-y. But you know what? They don't call me Jack Dupe for nothing. I got all of y'all. I did. And I got all of y'all too.
That was fucking crazy.
I came in knowing no one, and you're all there, and I'm here.
Yeah, what I have to say is like halfway through that fire making challenge, I was like getting really emotional because like I just felt that no one was cheering for me and like everyone wanted Cass to win and I've just been wandering these grounds for the past like 20 minutes being like, oh fuck, like no one actually is sort of on my side, and I think that's not to make you feel bad for me. I think it's a good representation of my journey in this game. I came in and from game one, everyone was like threat. What was being thrown out about me was that I'm this threat, and I think it would have been easier for me to not be a threat and try to get through it, skate by. But that's not who I am. So I gave it my all, and I fucking took what I did, which was destroy some of those challenges. I kept my team safe for almost an entire day. Went to one tribal council that day. I actually think that being in that limelight and still feeling like everyone's against me, that this whole time people are calling me a threat, that I'm building a fire for people that I don't even know if are like on my side. Like I think that is a good representation of how I have persevered through this. I found 6 idols and advantages, 2 of which were in my crotch at one time at one point. I played 2 immunity idols, 2 advantages. I played a sweet potato. I played something that was around Zach's neck at tribal council. I won individual immunity. I won almost an entire day for my team. I just don't think anyone else has a resume like that.
Kara.
I'm just breathing into my belly.
First.
I think I should win SurFiver because I think I represent the walking contradiction that it is to survive. SurFiver, which is to be yourself, but also outwit, outplay, outlast, which are sometimes things that don't allow you to be yourself. I've been both called a goat, but and coasting.
He's drunk.
Oh, good. That's good. And also, I've been like targeted as like a super threat. I think the social game of SurFiver, I like am not good at, and thusly kind of good at. I'm like self-aware, no, enough. I don't know what it is, and I think it's a byproduct of being myself. And so I think I outwit by like dancing around that. Then I outplay because I out fucking play. Boom, baby. Taking some tumbles. As soon as I joined Sabuku, we got I'm just saying I helped carry the weight that helped us get immunity after immunity. And I'm forgetting the rest now, but I definitely outplayed as well. And with all of that combined, I outlasted, and I also had a good ass time because I got to just be myself. I had honest relationships. I was loyal to people. The 2 people I made connections with stayed loyal the entire time. My core connections. And that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
All right. Only other question I have to ask you guys is, do you have anything else you need to say at this moment?
I do. You reminded me of some things. I wanted to note some of the bigger moves that I made that were kind of behind the scenes. I had 2 hidden immunity idols. I gave them both to Cassie, which was at that night when I got sent in. I let her play both idols because I didn't want that target on my back the next time. And it worked. Because she's there and I'm here. I found 2 idols by myself. I found the blue idol when I was on the blue team for the 1 tribal, and then I switched to red. So I didn't have access to it. I couldn't use it. Then finally I found the red one. And I saved both of them, and I never had to use them for myself. And I think I'm the only one up here who made moves. I really think that. I mean, it was Sambuku strong the whole time, and I was the only one who said... Okay, well, it was Sambuku strong
Sorry, one more time.
other than me, because...
What's the try?
Well, that's the thing. I don't think I belong on that team. I think I'm in the middle. Because I worked with everyone appropriately.
Oh, wow.
I didn't just work with our team. I had joined the other one, the red one, and I had great alliances on that side. And then when we merged, I was on the bottom still, and I made it fucking work. I played, and how did you guys let us vote off Caroline when I was right here? Shame on you. I think that was a big mistake. And I ended up here, and I think I fooled you.
Carson, Kara, anything to add?
I didn't understand that last part. What?
When we all agreed to vote off Caroline, that was planted by Cassie and I. Obviously, we were on the bottom. She had immunity. It was me going home. And then we caused havoc, and we got her out lickety-split.
Yeah, sure, but we
So,
also, you
why-
know,
What?
I wouldn't say that it was planted by you and Cassie. I mean, sure, that's what you wanted, but it's also what I wanted. I mean, we're talking about different stories. Like, you know, there was a story painted of the car allegiance of the people who came up together. You know, there were stories, there was a women's alliance, a bunch of stuff that was said that was never followed through with. For me, I decided, which was really, you know, hard because I love Caroline, but I decided I would say that was a huge move of mine. To say you're the only one who makes moves, I think, is not true.
And I think
Did you
it's
ever suggest one that went through first?
I would say I was in and the puppeteer behind most of the moves, me and Cassidy, I would say. Every single thing that happened in the game was led through the game from our tribe. Me and Cassidy sort of...
Maybe for you
Spot.
guys, but for me, I led my own game. Period.
Boom.
I think everyone led their own game. I also think there are times to speak up about like what your intention, like if you're smart. Not that I'm saying you're not. You're thinking about every fucking scenario. So, and you're knowing that there are some that are positive and then some that are obviously negative or whatever. So if that happens to line up, like I don't understand. You know, you're not always going to say, oh, that was my plan too. Sometimes the smart thing is to keep your mouth shut. I mean, whether that's here now, whether that's in tribal, whether that's in the moment when a person approaches you about something, like, I just because you're laying all your cards, oh, I don't know. I just, even you said it, I mean, yeah. Everyone plays their own game, and,
Absolutely, but I
and
think
everyone's game brushes
You
up
would
on
not be
each
here
other. I
if
don't
we
know.
did not let you be here.
That's
all I'm saying.
why didn't you let me be here?
Absolutely. Look at me and Kara, Cass. It could very easily just be me, Kara, and Cass up here.
Yeah,
if
those
we did
were
not
my- those
No,
were
it
my
couldn't
first
because I
two.
won that challenge, by the way. It couldn't have been you guys.
That
I mean,
challenge. What
I
else
was
did you
playing
win challenge
endgame. Those two, they were my endgame. They were my final three endgame.
And I fucked it up.
From like the first day, basically.
Jeff, we hungry. Let us at him.
Let me go.
Let us at him.
From the first
Jeff, we
moment.
hungry.
They're done speaking.
You better be ready.
Who is that? Oh, hey,
We're hungry.
hey, cuties. You hungry? All right, Molly, you're up first.
Okay, so my question is, if there was one thing that you could change in the game, right, whether you had like a decision in it or not, just something that happened in the game that you could change, what would it be and why?
I think it was maybe a misstep to vote you out first, and I'm not saying that just because it's you. I think you, sorry, this is also kind of shade, you would be a good shield to bring with me. You would be a threat just because you are exactly who you are. I think I could have worked with you. That's the only thing I would change. Everything else went my way pretty much.
I would change having stepped forward at the very beginning about the alpha male shit.
I mean, I don't think I'd change a single thing. I think I played an incredible game.
Great.
Thanks, Mom.
Alex, you're up.
I guess this is primarily for Carson and Kara. Neither of you, it seemed like, had a big throw over. Carson maybe a bit with Caroline, but there seemed to be less talk of betrayal among you and like your close group. Was that, do you think you got like lucky in that you weren't put in that position? Was there a point where you would have done that? Or would you have like risked you staying in the game for your allegiances?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we even talked about this. Like we were like playing the honest game. Like we had like, yeah, you can go ahead.
It's just the thing is that like everything, this is SurFifer, and everything is a betrayal. Everything is manipulative. Me, not telling Cass about my idol, I told Cass everything. Talking to Caroline, there are little lies that are sprinkled throughout. Things that I'm not going to report back to the jury. There's this weird association with the most vicious, the most betrayal, the most gut-wrenching being the best gameplay. I believe you'd be a better player if you could do all of that gameplay and keep your alliances with people. If you can make people not feel bad about themselves and make those plays, I believe that's what I have done here.
I mean, yeah, there were people that alliance, Cass, speaking for myself, Cass, Carson, and I rubbed up against that we would have loved to work with, but sometimes shit happened and like I had to, you have to kind of like say these lies. I guess those are, I mean, whatever, like, yeah, they're just like,
We blindsided
or like
Allie
remittances,
twice.
which are shitty, and even, yeah, but for the most part, no, we had a very active, honest, to the point where we've like talked about how it's kind of bizarre. We'd be like, I'm feeling anxious because like you walked over there about that person. Like we had to like be like kind of like the American Girl guide to like bullying, or the American Girl guide to like all that stupid shit. Yeah, it's like, I'm feeling this because you did this, like that level shit. So it was, that was active honesty between the three of us. For a while with you, like there were people we brushed up upon, but like, yeah, it was just the earliest, so we stayed true to it.
Yeah, and I think what that reminds me of too is that it was all rooted in truth. In that, like, I'm sorry, but you blindside Caroline, and the first words out of her mouth are, "You'll regret this." Whereas we blindside Allie comes back to us. She gifted me her trickster idol. Me, the person who blindsided her. Then she comes back, and we blindside her again, and I still feel like we're on great terms. I believe that makes me a better player in the long run, socially and physically, than somebody who's turning people against you.
Okay, can I drop in? I know this wasn't a question.
No.
for me.
Also, who didn't read the rules and gifted an idol after they were voted out?
It was in the rules.
Oh, is it?
So I just want to say something. Firstly, you played 6 things, 6 advantages. Both of your idols never actually changed the outcome of the vote. The nullifier, we beat. Well, we got a trickster and knew it was fake, so we didn't play it, so you didn't get an idol.
I found that arrow heart advantage that I put into that box.
I don't know what that is, but pretty much what I'm saying is, like, your advantages, while great, didn't really affect the game. We only had a couple, and they greatly affected the game. And I have to rebut. I think Cassie, after I voted her out, she had my she thought I had her back. And after I voted her out, she immediately, not 5 minutes after, said, "I'm going to teach you how to start making fire now." So I think it's not fair to say that I don't have people who have my back and I don't have their back. Because I knew she would beat me. I knew Caroline would beat me. And I sit here comfortably. And I think both of you can understand why I did what I did. Because I know where I fit among this tribe of people, my power. And I'm not number 1 and I'm not number 2. But I think I'm number 1 up here.
And I can totally understand it as well, but it wasn't so much as just trying to take you down as just explaining to Alex why I think that even though you don't hear of betrayals, it was littered with lies and betrayals and choices. But on top of that, for me, I believe that I was able to keep social game. Not that you weren't always able to do that, but using that one example, which is unfair, as an example of a time when somebody's angry, that I think that I was able to do better, maybe? Don't know.
Connor, you're up.
What's up? So I brought notes. Hi. Yeah, it's a reveal. Get used to it. So, first I'd like to say congratulations or whatever. So, there's a couple questions. It's not just one. I came prepared. First question is Nikki or Cardi. You have to go 3, 2, 1.
Nikki.
Wait, what? I'm
Nikki
just
or Cardi?
Cardi.
The correct answer is Megan Thee Stallion. You're all wrong. You are all incorrect. The second question is, do you like my outfit?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's an I, Tanya reference, so no one kind of referenced that. And so that's also incorrect, but it's okay. It's totally fine, because there is another question. 0 for 2. Yeah, it's okay, but like, try a little harder. So my last question is, to me, SurFifer, there's a level of showmanship involved. And maybe that's because I watch, it's a TV show to me. I am a viewer to the thing, right? But to me, playing under the radar, lying low, hiding with your alliance is boring. I couldn't watch that on TV. So I'm wondering for you all, what is the moment or the play that you feel like defined your journey in this game? The moment that you said, I am a winner. When that moment happened and what it was and why. And that's my question.
We voted out Caroline. Everyone thought it was the wrong decision.
Okay.
And we stuck with it, and we rolled with it, and we knew it was the right decision. Not to mention, I got Harry out and his idol before. It was kind of a 1-2 punch. I felt like a winner. Top 10. I felt like 9. 8. It was 8.
So the Caroline vote? Or
Yes.
Okay.
The first one.
The first one, yeah.
This is a little backwards, but because I just answered another question that I regretted that, but it was the but I felt like a winner when I said I was the alpha male. I stepped forward at the very beginning of the game when it was the most ambiguous beginning of the game, and
With the I might be confused, but with the alpha thing, that was a vote that happened across the board, right?
Yeah, but I said I'll be the alpha
Oh,
male.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Because to be honest with you, I didn't really make any fake idols. I know people did that. I didn't have any type of. I mean, I helped out with blind sides for sure. I didn't do any type of wild shit myself.
Right.
You
So
know what I mean?
the moment of your own volition was at the beginning of the game. Saying,
Yeah,
I am
and your question was it defines who you are and
Yeah.
your journey in this thing. That's what I'm saying. It was
Okay.
this weird fucking moment that ended up actually working to my advantage, I think. Yeah,
May I jump in?
totally.
I feel like our trajectories differ because you started off the alpha and became the beta, and I don't think any of you saw me coming. None of you voted for me in the beginning. And I think you would all consider me the alpha up here.
Yeah, I just think that whatever I mentioned, I just feel like we have different visions of what SurFifer is, and so I don't know if I'm gonna pull out something that is as show stopping or
Yeah,
whatever.
This is again
really
just
do
for
think
my
so.
vote. It's just me how I feel. About
Totally,
it, you know what I'm
100%.
saying?
Yeah.
This is
I mean, for me, the two moments where I felt I was combining what I believe the game to be and can be, rather than what might just be good gameplay, what it could potentially be with actually who I am as a person. I think that first moment was during dodgeball. Was I heckling? Was I yelling? Was I running around? No. But was I doing a fucking damn good job at what I do fucking well? Absolutely. And then I would say secondly, it was when interviews were happening inside and was dancing around to some music, and somebody asked, where's the other tribe? Do you know what they're up to? And I said, they can do whatever the hell they want. Because I believe I didn't need to be listening at every crack or, trying to, do all these glitter and, glitter. Sorry, that was a weird phrase to use. But this, as far as the TV show framing, I don't need to be at every crevice and doing these show-stopping moves in order to feel like I'm confident in my game.
yeah, there's something about like being cool. So I mean,
I mean,
then
there
what does
might
that
be.
mean, right? Like you can't be in my
Maybe, yeah, I
head,
don't
you're
know.
not in my POV. But go
There's
ahead,
something about
Justin.
being
What's up?
cool.
No, I gotta wait my turn.
I don't know. There's something about being cool, but there's something about me to being noticeable. But I think I have heard everything. I need
Yeah, it's
now.
just tricky. I guess you haven't watched the show. Like, yeah, you're not there all the time. Yeah, I guess it's true.
All right. Next up, Harry.
Yeah, this again is a question that everyone can answer, I think. But I'm curious, like, especially with you, Jack, like hearing, like, I agree that you totally fucked me over. Like I was bullshitting you earlier. Like you completely got me to not play that idol. I was fully planning on doing it, and we had a conversation about strategy in which I was like, I might be doing this for a useless reason and then fucking myself over by doing it. That's just to like introduce like what I mean by this. Just like when all of you say that you make these moves and stuff, like how do you think you played that? Like what about you as a player was able to convince people of these things? How do you like you say that you go about things right, like in a more honest way from the two of you? I'm like curious about what that means, given that you also say like it involves deception at certain points. Like just what do those moves mean to you? Like how do you view yourself like tactically, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, tactically, I feel like I use. It just sounds so corny, but I do believe that I use what I think I wield best, which is like, oh,
What happened?
Okay.
yeah. I mean, I think that I use what I wield best, which I believe is love. I think. And so for me, if that is dancing in the living room to grow closer to someone, you know, like I'm wearing the jacket of somebody on the jury. It's like I believe that I've created real ass connections with all of you, which I think is important. If that's what I can wield well, that's my strategy. And it is rooted in honesty and deception. When I go to one group and I say, this is why I love you guys, and this is why I'm in on this plan, and then I go to another group and I say, this is honestly why I love you guys, and I'm honestly would be down for this plan too. And then I can choose at the moment for the game, which one should I choose? Although the love is real in both you know, sexes, and I feel like that's where I'm at.
I think we play differently because I have love for many people. Love this man to death. I feel pretty close to you guys, and I have love for you, but when we're playing Survivor, it's about love of the game. You know, I think the love will transcend whatever this little bubble is 3 days. You'll know that, and like, you probably already know that, and I don't have to sugarcoat things while we're here. Now's the time to get down and dirty, you know? I don't know, I think I'm just like pretty real, or at least I'm good at acting, although I'm surrounded by actors and I kind of feel like I'm the best one. But also just giving and taking, you know? We built this trust, Cassie and I and Brayman, because we shared info. We were not an item, and suddenly we knew everything about each other's idols. We knew everything about each other's game. So I think it's unfair to say that I, you know, am only deceit. I am calculated.
I never said you were only deceit. I'm just saying what I wield well. Sure. That's what I wield well.
Yeah, I think I'm a nice mix. And, you know, I looked Caroline, I looked Cassie, I looked you dead in the eyes and said, it's not you. And you believed me. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what it is. It's just how I am, I guess.
Whether it was contributing things we found or contributing like our bodies to the challenges. I mean, there's that obviously, but then yeah, if we're talking in terms of deceit or lie, I remember you were mentioning that, right? Like, how can you be honest, but also, was that what you were saying as well? I don't know. I feel like we were just.
Sit down.
I stayed true to my two. That would be my thing. Whatever. Yeah, I stayed true to Carson and Cass, and I stayed true to myself. And I stayed true to myself while knowing that, like, that's a threat in itself. That's a fucking threat in itself. So, yeah.
Up next after Harry was Justin.
All right. So, Carson and Kara, both, you touched on something interesting, which was about social game. And you actually looked at Jack and you said you didn't have social game, which I think is a bold misrepresentation. I think what you two were gifted with, and you initially in the first tribe, was social capital, right? You walked into a tribe where you had allegiances already. You had relationships built, you had alliances you had discussed before the game started. I think sorry, that's not true for you. You're right, my bad. That's not true for you. Okay, fair enough, my bad. But at least relationships, they had an allegiance, right? I think what you guys talked about is the importance of playing cool, right? Of like maintaining love, of maintaining these relationships. You very much flexed the ability to work with people, expose weaknesses, turn people. I'm curious, like, I want you to look inward at yourself. Say it was the opposite, right? You were in a tribe where you were vastly outnumbered by people you didn't know. Could you two really have a social game and really, like, work with those? And could you play it cool if you were on a team where you really had a lot of people who got you?
Good question. Super good question. I mean, for me, it's about, and again, I don't know, you know, depending on what type of social capital I had, the relationships I already had with people, totally could change this. But for me, it's about withholding information. It's not so much about deceiving people as like knowing that, you know, when me and Cass and Caro knew about something, and Caroline and Allie were sort of these swing votes, I constantly was reminding them. I was like, anything that we say to them, it could be going to the other tribe. So for me, it's not about lying to them and saying something completely different. It's just about withholding as much information as you can until you know you can fully trust people. Those are my friends. You know, Caroline is my roommate. You know, it's like, that I think is a huge example of, yes, sure, I'm sure social capital had a huge part in the game, but examples like that show how the strategy sort of went over that social capital. I would also say that, like, Justin, you were in the car when we went on that booze run with Molly, and, like, I feel like she's like, we have grown to be, like, super friendly with each other, you know? I'm not wearing this as a statement. I was just like, Molly's fucking jacket is so fucking cool, and I didn't know Molly 4 days ago, you know? So yes, I did have some relationships, but I also do believe that I'm good at forming new ones, really real good new ones.
I think it's clear that I can play it cool. I did in the beginning, the entire blue all the way. I played it cool with Harry. He was the obvious vote, because we were still sticking with blue. And then when Cassie and I got together with Brayman, that was a three-way and everyone knew it. And everyone was trying to get us to be like, you guys are too close, you need to backstab one another, and we stayed true until the last possible moment that I could, because I know that she would beat me. And I'll say it again. It's calculation. You know, I think I'm cool until I'm not. And then I'm not, and it works.
I feel that.
Thank
I think I share a similar trait. I would say, I'm not totally sure, dude. I would say 50-50. Like, I need to clarify, like, what I mean by being myself is, I think, and this is something I learned throughout this game. And I think this is how I think a lot of us were sharing this experience. I think I enjoy, a lot of us are like, enjoy holding the door open for people, right? Like, just like there are just different things that suddenly when you're playing this game with me, like, just a simple act of kindness, something that you would just happen, instinctual act of your personality can be read as something super deep in this game, right? So then suddenly you're questioning, like, should I, like, I don't know, like, just, like, basic shit, like, just weird things. And I think, yeah, Survivor has a lot of different personalities. That's why we love watching it. Like, there's all these different characters and shit. So this is kind of a crapshoot anyway, like, because you all are entitled to take, like, that's how life is. Like, we are attracted to different personalities. Like, that's how, like, the game, that's how it all falls. So, yeah, I don't know. I might have been voted off, like, yeah, like, I don't know. And frankly, I'm kind of, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
But I do like that point about personalities too, because, you know, again, I get it, because I'm the same way. When I watch Survivor, I'm like, that's a game player. That's someone who's doing the game right. But again, I think they're morphing themselves into the version of themselves that they need to be for the game. When I think it's so badass when somebody is able to combine that game with themselves.
Well, I thank you for that compliment, because I feel like I've been completely real during this game. I have never put on a facade to someone that is not me. And I still played hard. And I still fuck shit up.
Up next is Allie.
Sure. How many questions do I have?
You can ask us whatever you want.
Okay, first one. Just curious, what's everyone's favorite color?
Green.
Blue, orange.
Makes so much sense. Okay. Real question. So, the way that my vote is gonna go is I'm gonna vote for someone who is similar to, like, what I value and, like, my strategy, which was basically, you know, like, I just put it all out there and I was, like, very open and honest. Like, I was honest with everyone, honestly. So, I'm curious how you were honest with everyone, and how were you honest with people, and how did that get you farther, and did that hurt you? You know, like, just talk about that, because that's where I'm at right now. It's like, I just want to vote on someone who played, like, a very, like, this is me, you know, like, I'm not faking this. I'm not trying to play anyone else. Like,
Can I chime in?
on this game, yeah, go for it.
Allie, we were supposed to vote together. We were supposed to be on the same team, and I voted the way that we had agreed. And actually, you were the one who was dishonest with me. So I think I have proven to you already that I was with you.
I think the biggest way that I was honest was being straight up about how situations could seem deceptive, and this is a conversation I had with Caroline. You know, when Caroline came in back into the game, you know, she was saying this stuff that I wanted to believe, but I also was honest by saying, Caroline, I want you to know that there is a reality in which you have gone and talked to the other team and they are telling you to get this information. I just want to say that so that you know what the potentiality is, and that I know that that's potentiality. I also said that with you, you know. You came back, we're confused about sort of the trickster idol, and I had to say, you know, there's a potentiality that you could be playing the other side, you know. And I think saying that is helpful to actually develop more trust. So then you can deceive, which we did to you twice. But that's the way I think I was brutally honest.
Yeah, I think I did both of those. So I was honest every single vote. I stayed with my alliance. I never even though there were times when I wanted to I stayed with that. And then I also was honest, like Harsha was talking about, in ways of potentialities and the brutality of that. That's like, I guess if that's what you're talking about, the brutal. It's I guess it's brutally honest, but it's then brutally, like, deceptive, actually. Yeah. But then within, like, we stayed true. The three of us stayed true to the very end until it was by chance. The three of us. So
I don't know if, yeah, so.
Awesome. Up next is going to be Caroline.
Carson, you just answered a question about honesty by using an interaction with me as an example. How dare you? Essentially. I mean, here's what I've written. Your cunning and stealthy ways have put you here. Congratulations. I'm absolutely overjoyed to see you sitting here in the final three. However, there is a part of me that is utterly crushed to have been deceived by you. Withstanding this deception as a competitor is one thing, but what you did is especially painful for me, considering I entered this game in an ironclad alliance with you. For weeks before this game even began, you provoked me with talk of strategy, perception, and alignment. I wasn't sure if going into this game with such a power move would be wise, but after some careful consideration, I took your offer and made a final three deal with you and Jack Dodge before we ever left Brooklyn. I told you that as a condition of my loyalty, I would not lie to you, I would not steal from you, and that I would never write your name down. And if I were ever in a situation where I would even consider writing your name down, in some sort of effort to save my own life in the game, I would tell you. These were advantages which I both offered and expected in return. Earlier today, and in this very tribal council, you have mentioned that you wanted to play this game with sweetness, joy, and honesty. My question for you, with all of this in mind, is did you play that kind of game?
I think I did, yeah. I tried. I think that, people are praised when they're that deceptive. And I was only reacting to what I thought was you trying to pull one over, people telling me Caroline is trying to pull the wool over all of our eyes.
Did I, for a second,
No,
give you a reason to believe that?
No. No. But
That was, listen, I'm here and you're there. That was my mistake. This is a question for all three of you. Well, no, I first have a question for Jack. You've said on multiple occasions that you couldn't beat me if I was sitting next to you in the final tribal. Thank you, it's flattering. If that's the case, outside of getting me out of this game, what did you do better than me?
I found 2 more idols than you did, and I played them correctly. I worked with the other tribe seamlessly. I was on the bottom of numbers at the merge and prevailed. I
You guys are fine. I should go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jack. Kara, I don't have a question for you. I'm good.
Awesome. Do you want to hold up for a second, guys?
Yeah, let's put a pause.